What is up, Bills Mafia? I'm back. I didn't know if this was going to happen. To be quite honest with you, I was really debating whether or not to do this all over again. But here I am, back for another season of Buffalo Bills football. I've been kind of in and out, as you may know, over the past, few months. After last season, the way it ended, the wind was just knocked out of me for a long time. A long time. I was having, I was questioning life. I was questioning many things about, what I spend my time on, where my priorities are, where I spend my money and my time. I've got 2 kids, wife that love me dearly, and they lose me for 6 months because I spend so much time just dedicated to Buffalo Bills football. And as you know, last season, I was putting out a video every day. I mean, like 350 plus days in a row, I was putting out a video dedicated to last season. And yes, I said before every video that the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl. And I was counting down the days. I mean, it was, 312 days to go to the Bills win the Super Bowl. It was 290 days till the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl. 143 days till the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl. 40 days, 30 days, 20 days, 10 days. Actually, we never got to 10 days. Did we get to 10 days? No. We got to about 20, and that was it. And then we were done. And the Cincinnati Bengals beat us good and made us look silly. And, the whole season was just, it was just one trial after another, trial and tribulation and setbacks and blizzards and injuries and, of course, players for the Bills almost dying on the field, and it was tough. So I apologize somewhat to those who have followed me and, spent some time with me last season, and I just kind of checked out. And I was like, I can't do this right now. I can't do this. And I came back and did a few videos and had some fun, and I appreciate those who, stuck around for this, middle-aged guy in his basement doing these videos. Speaking of which, some of those people are online already, and it's so great to see you guys. Mr. F, great to see you. Seamus, there you are, baby. You're back. We're back, right? We're a family. And what's up, JT? JT says, Buffalo. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, JT, but it's great to see you. Thanks for joining. JT says, enough with the excuses. Let's rock. Common, something like that. Yeah, I have a trailer video up now, and it talks about what I think is now, undebatable, and that is somehow, some way, this city has been cursed. Buffalo sports, Sabres, and Bills, in particular. Every season that rolls around, it just seems like it ends in a thud. And I know that's not unlike a lot of sports towns, but the way it ends, the things that happen, how the games transpire, how the seasons transpire, the injuries that crop up at the wrong time, and it just seems as if, right down to the Cincinnati game during the regular season last year when the Bills, if they won, they locked down the number 1 seed, and who knows what would have happened if they did that. But, one of our guys almost dies of a heart attack on the field. That to me was like, okay, there's something going on in the universe that does not want our Buffalo Bills, succeeding. That's how I look at it. But what are you going to do? You're just going to like crawl into your closet, turn off the lights, and, curl up into a ball and just call it quits? No. You come back for another season. This year, I am not guaranteeing anything because a lot of people feel like I jinxed the Bills by, claiming that we were going to win the Super Bowl. If I did, I'm sorry. I honestly think that I don't hold a candle to the curse. But, maybe it was just a little too arrogant. And so this season, I am just going to have fun. I'm just going to roll with the punches, going to enjoy watching the game. If we win tonight, great. If we don't win tonight, that's all right. We move on to the next week when we host the Raiders. But this is going to be a fun season. The Bills are still very competitive, and we'll talk a little bit about the Jets game coming up here. We are just an hour away from kicking off. Looking forward to it. I mean, this opener is got to be one of the most hyped openers that we've had in a long time. I mean, every opener for the Bills, of course, is huge. The game against the Rams last season was fantastic, but this just is at another level because we've got so many details, so many elements, so many factors that are all just coming together all at once for what should be one of the most memorable Bills games ever. Let's hope with a win. So, a few people jumping on the stream. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. If you don't know who I am, I'm here in Buffalo, New York, doing a stream now and then. I generally do the games play-by-play. I will not be doing that tonight. I'm going to be just enjoying watching the game with my kiddo. And then after the game, win or lose, I'll jump on for like a half an hour to talk about what the heck happened. But again, it's going to be a season where I'm just going to have fun. I am just going to have fun. JT says, last year is last year. We will own tonight. I love the enthusiasm. Let's go. There's nothing wrong with a lot of enthusiasm. And Spears Bills Talk says, make Rodgers look old. That ain't going to be too hard, but I know what he's talking about. Get him on the run. Let's make Rodgers do the things that he doesn't like to do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth here, but I think there's a really good chance that Rodgers and his ascension there in New York is going to come crashing down tonight. If you watched Hard Knocks, I mean, they just worship this guy. And I thought it was actually pretty nauseating how they just, from the coach to the players to anybody that came out to Jets camp, I mean, they were just swooning over this guy. Is that the word, swooning? It was really, honestly, pathetic. JT says, Buffalo! So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers. A key element to this game, Aaron Rodgers obviously coming over from the Green Bay Packers. And, is he going to elevate the Jets to a contender this season? Oh, a lot of people, most people, I would say, think so. And that might be the case. I certainly think he's definitely a couple notches above what they had last season with Zach Wilson and Mike White. I mean, and they were in position to make the playoffs down the stretch there, but they just didn't have the quarterback play. But they certainly had the defense to make a run at it. If they just needed a competent quarterback to have a shot at getting into the playoffs. Now they have a competent quarterback, a defense returning that should be as good, if not better, as last season. I mean, that Quinnen Williams is, I think, the next Aaron Donald. You have Sauce Gardner at the corner. I would say arguably the best corner in football right now. And there are no slouches in the other areas. Even C.J. Mosley, who's getting older, he's still going to be an impact player for the Jets. So the Bills have their hands full, certainly, with the New York Jets defense this year. But what about our Buffalo Bills? After last season, all the things that happened, the offseason moves, what type of team are we going to see this year? A lot of people, me included, think that they have a better roster than last season. Now, there are certain areas of the team on offense and defense that have, risen and fallen, I think, if you could quantify it somehow. I think our defensive back play pretty much stays the same. A healthy defensive backfield last season would probably be a little bit better than the defensive backfield we see this season, but we didn't have a healthy defensive backfield last season. Micah Hyde was out virtually the entire season. And then Jordan Poyer, he struggled with injuries all year long. The injuries to Christian Benford, right? The subpar play of Kaiir Elam, who I just heard is actually inactive tonight. So we didn't have Tre'Davious White, right? I mean, Tre'Davious White missed half the season. And when he came back, he was probably only 80% of what Tre'Davious White can be. So we have a better secondary this season. Another part of our defense that has changed dramatically is the linebacker play. Tremaine Edmonds gone. I didn't like Tremaine Edmonds. I felt like he got pushed off the ball. I don't think he was very good in run support. I watched a lot of highlights of Tremaine Edmonds just getting blown off the line by, blockers. I think he had a lot of contribution in just eating up space, but I don't think he was that tenacious of a middle linebacker, not the type that you'd like to have. But when Tremaine Edmonds was out, the drop-off was apparent. The Bills linebackers struggled without him in the game. Hopefully, the linebacker play won't drop off too much this season. I think it will. And then, of course, the defensive line, we're hoping that they're going to excel. Now, of course, Von Miller's going to be out for 4 weeks. I'm glad about that. I'll get to Von Miller in just a little bit. But we expect Greg Rousseau to take another leap. Ed Oliver got the contract. We expect him to be an impact player on the defensive line. We are going to get, I think, solid play out of Tim Settle and Daquan Jones. I believe Daquan Jones is still with us, right? I'm actually not even particularly sure. I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot, but Daquan Jones was missed a lot in the Cincinnati Bengals playoff game last year. Just let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I believe Daquan Jones is in our rotation there up front. Defense should be good. Should be a top 5 defense again. On the offensive side of the ball, look at how much the Bills missed a slot receiver when they let Cole Beasley walk. Not that Cole Beasley would have been the difference maker on the offensive side of the ball, but they went ahead and went with Isaiah McKenzie, who did not perform up to what I know that they had hoped that he would perform, which was strange to me. I don't know why they thought he would. He had one good game against the Patriots the year before. So elevating him to the slot receiver, I think, was a mistake. Of course, they had Jamison Crowder, but he got hurt, and so the Bills struggled with receivers overall. I mean, they had Stephon Diggs, and then, of course, Gabe Davis struggling last season in large part because he was injured. We don't have that this year. This year we have players that I think are going to step up nicely in the slot. Deontay Hardy is, going to possibly be, a Cole Beasley type and maybe better. Dude small but fast. We are, I think going to see some good play out of Trent Sherfield. But of course, the one guy we're all looking forward to seeing tonight. Hopefully he shows up right away is Dalton Kincaid. I've heard a lot of great things about him. I don't expect a ton, honestly. You know how it is. You get a lot of hype in the training camp, preseason. This guy looks great. This guy's amazing. He's going to be, the best tight end in Bills history. And it might be the case, but it'll take a while. He's going to be just like any other rookie. He's going to be thrust into an NFL game where the speed of the game is just off the charts compared to college football. So don't expect Dalton Kincaid to catch 11 passes for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. I think Dalton Kincaid, a good night for him tonight would be 5 catches, maybe 60 yards, and of course a touchdown would be fantastic. Offensive side of the ball, though, I think they're improved. I'm hearing good things about the offensive line, including the right tackle Osiris Torrance. From what I hear, he is a bona fide, legit starting right tackle in the NFL already, and he's going to be handling the silent count, which is quite a load for a rookie. So they must really like that Osiris Torrance along the offensive line. So the offensive line is improved, passing game's improved, and of course the running game. We've got some horses in the backfield now. I like Devin Singletary, but Devin Singletary to me was just a guy. It was just kind of slashing, kind of get the ball in his hands, and if he has a little space, he can make a few things happen type of running back. I like James Cook, the way he looked last season, obviously after his first carry where he fumbled the ball. And then they go out and they land a couple other, solid running backs. What's his name from the Patriots? He's escaping my name, and then the other guy, the other gigantic running back for the Bills. When I'm on the spot, I forget. Damian Harris and Latavius Murray. So those two guys are going to, they're gonna I think have some success in the Buffalo Bills offense. I'm wondering though, are they going to continue to sling the ball around, or are they going to run the ball more than we have seen over the last couple of years? It's going to be very interesting what Ken Dorsey's going to do, because he got a lot of heat last season for his play calling. And I don't think it was really all on him. He wasn't able to adapt as well as I think he maybe could have or should have when it was discovered that Isaiah McKenzie was not really going to be the slot receiver that we wanted him to be. And Gabe Davis's injury. I mean, how much more can you do with just Stephon Diggs and Devin Singletary and a rookie and James Cook? So, we can parse his play calling. We can say he needed to run more screens, which the Bills never run screens, which just really drives me crazy. He didn't, most people would say that Ken Dorsey maybe earned a C grade, but look at the Bills. They only lost 3 games by a total of 8 points, and they really should have won the Vikings game. Obviously, that game was 27-10 in the third quarter, and then they blew that lead, and they really stopped the Vikings, on that 4th down and goal play, and then Josh Allen fumbles the ball in the end zone and gave that game away. The Jets game was really an odd loss when we lost 20-17, and also the Dolphins loss. I mean, that one was just bizarre. And who knows what would have happened in the Cincinnati regular season game had that game continued. It wasn't looking like it was going to be certainly a cakewalk or anything like that. It looked like it was going to be a really hard-fought game that will come down to the wire, but we'll never know. We'll never know. So the Bills, 13-3 last season, but their offense struggled down the stretch, the last 6 games or so of the season, and even they struggled against the Dolphins. I mean, it was just a struggling team that I think just ran out of gas when the playoffs came around, and it ended the way it did, losing to the Bengals at home. Ironically, a weird kind of icy snowstorm seemed like it hurt the Bills at home and helped the Dolphins, helped the Bengals. And the season ends. Jets. Let's look at the Jets. So they have a really good defense last year. Quinnen Williams is just a beast in the middle. Sauce Gardner, solid. They've got some. They've got this one dude. If you watched Hard Knocks, that's on the defensive end, and he looks like he could be a real awesome addition to the team. He just has that go. He can bend the edge real nice. It's Will McDonald. He looks like he's going to be, I think, a handful tonight. along with Quinnen Williams, they're going to get after Josh Allen. And so the game plan, which I'll get to in a second, is going to have to be tailored around dealing with those two guys. The biggest thing, though, the Jets offense, they've got weapons. I mean, Breece Hall looks like he's going to be back. I don't know if Breece Hall is going to, carry the ball more than 15 times today. He's going to be worked into the offense, though, for sure. But, I mean, they really have, if they can protect Rodgers, and that's going to be the biggest thing, if they can protect Rodgers, I think they can really make some hay tonight. Garrett Wilson is turning into one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. He continues to just ascend. He's going to be good. He's got Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, two familiar guys to throw the ball to. And, of course, Mecole Hardman. And these guys they're a legit core of receivers that can, I think, really put up some numbers this season against some defenses. Now, that's all going to depend on whether or not the Jets can protect Aaron Rodgers. That is the big question mark. That is the X factor tonight. Can the Jets' offensive line protect Aaron Rodgers? Because the dude is old. The dude is definitely old. He's no Tom Brady at his age, 39. Tom Brady was playing like a 30-year-old when he was 39. Aaron Rodgers is playing like a 39-year-old at the age of 39. I look back to when the Jets got Brett Favre from the Green Bay Packers. I look back at Brett Favre and his first season with the New York Jets, and I honestly believe that the similarities are going to be pretty shocking between Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre came out of the gate with the New York Jets and just was really, really looking good. He was playing some solid football. That season, he made a lot of Jets fans believe that he was going to take him to the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember, but it was like Brett Favre, baby. We've got Brett Favre, and he is going to be the savior of the team. Is how he was perceived. And then I'm going to pull up his stats here real quick. And then he started to tail off. A lot of these players, they get to new teams and they ball out for the first few weeks. And then after a while, it's like things just start to settle and the true colors come out. Brett Favre, in the first few games with the New York Jets against Miami, he threw for 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The next week, I know we're going back to Brett Favre, and what does Brett Favre have to do with Aaron Rodgers? Trust me, this is basically what we're going to see out of Aaron Rodgers in New York. The next game, he throws for 1 touchdown, 1 interception. In the third game of the season with Brett Favre and the New York Jets, he throws for 6 touchdowns and 1 interception, 289 yards passing. And then it starts to fall apart. He had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, then no touchdowns and 2 interceptions, then 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And then he ended up, the first 3 games of Brett Favre's season with the New York Jets, he had 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the first 3 games. You're going to see similar type of numbers out of Aaron Rodgers. He might have a great game tonight. Honestly, he will. But over the long haul, I see Aaron Rodgers kind of coming back down to earth and not being as effective. Not nearly being as effective as the Jets fans hope that he will be. What I like is the fact that the Buffalo Bills can make that happen. Now, why wait 3 games to show Aaron Rodgers that he should have he should have retired. You know, he was 90% sure he was going to retire, he said last season, and then decided, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go with the Jets. I guess he went into some sort of cave for like 2 days in the darkness and just let his mind kind of go inside out. And then somehow, some way, he saw some sort of vision where he decided that his place to be was with the New York Jets. Maybe somehow, some way, he was able to connect with something that we don't understand, and then he's going to be able to, do something special in New York. I would like that to come crashing down on Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets fans tonight. So here's what I expect. Obviously, you know that the game could end in many different ways. The Jets could blow the Bills out tonight. The Bills could blow the Jets out tonight. There's a really good chance that one team's going to win by maybe 10, 12 points. And I think the best chance is that the Bills and the Jets are going to play right down to the wire. Josh Allen is going to have to do Josh Allen types of things and pull this one out. So, with everything I just kind of laid out for this game, I'm gonna be a homer and say I'm gonna see the Bills winning by a couple points. 23-20 was my prediction on my short, and I'm gonna stick to that. 23-20, which is about what Vegas has Buffalo winning by. And if Buffalo's a favorite on the road in a game like this, the Vegas odds makers must think that the Bills are definitely the better team. Because a team that goes on the road, especially for an opener like this, and they're posted as the favorites, that generally means that they're at least in the odds makers' minds, like more like a touchdown favorite if everything was, equal. Buffalo Bills football. We're back. What type of season are we going to see? What type of drama are we going to have to experience? If you're like an older Buffalo Bills fan like me, you feel, you have a sense that it's just going to come crashing down eventually. There's a really good chance of that. I am not going to be a party pooper. I'm not going to, be all doom and gloom. I am going to say though, I don't really care, honestly, in the long haul, what happens at the end of the season. This season is all about just enjoying the games, having fun with you guys, posting some videos, trying to get some laughs, and then, calling it at the end, one way or another, either hoisting a Super Bowl trophy to be outstanding or falling flat on our faces at home against the Cincinnati Bengals again. Whatever the case. And then when you look at what happened around the league, week 1, Buffalo's right there. The Bengals losing. Who else lost? Oh, the Chiefs. Yeah. Bengals and Chiefs both losing. Dolphins just piling on points against the Chargers, which was a bit of a surprise to me. But how long is Tua going to last? I mean, as soon as Tua, bumps into the guy the wrong way, unfortunately for Tua, with his concussion history, and I'm not hoping for it. I hope the guy has a great career and can get over those things. But let's just be honest. I mean, concussions are no laughing matter, and he's had some serious ones. So hopefully he stays healthy. But in terms of when it comes to football, I don't know how long that's going to last. Week 1 is really not anything that you can, use as a gauge on how any of these teams are going to do. Week 1 is an animal of its own. It's definitely a game that changes week to week. It's over the long haul that we're going to find out who the real contenders are. And I think Buffalo's going to be right there. In fact, just to get it on record, I'm going to predict the Buffalo Bills record right now. I see the Bills going 14-3. 14-3 this season, winning the AFC East, and finally the number 1 seed. Let's do that. And you know what? Because because it's still very early, I'm going to predict my Super Bowl and my Super Bowl final. I'm a homer. And I'm going to say that the Buffalo Bills will meet the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy having a remarkable season, just turning into this amazing story of resilience, being, Mr. Irrelevant, quarterbacking the San Francisco 49ers, who have a very good defense, in the Super Bowl. The Bills beating the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl by a final score of 27-19. The Buffalo Bills win Super Bowl 58. All right, we got a half an hour before kickoff. I'm going to go get ready with some chips and salsa. I will see you guys after the game.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say you will. Shout it right now, baby. Say you will. Come on, come on. Say you will. Come on and shout. Say you will. Yeah. Shout. Buffalo's happening now. Shout. We're on the move now. Shout. The Bills are happening now. Shout. They're making it happen now. Shout. We've got the spirit. Shout. A lot of spirit, yeah. Shout. We've got the spirit. Shout. Just watch it happen now. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. The Bills make me wanna shout.